Imagine wandering through the desert with thousands of others. The sun is blazing, the ground is dry, and your only guide is a mysterious cloud in the sky by day and a pillar of fire by night. This is the story of a journey, not just across land, but through faith, fear, failure, and hope. This is the journey to the Promised Land. The story begins in Egypt. God had just delivered the Israelites, the descendants of Abraham, from slavery. After generations of oppression, Moses led them out of Egypt with God's help. It was dramatic. Plagues, miracles, and the famous parting of the Red Sea. They were finally free. But freedom wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning. Now in the wilderness, the Israelites had one destination, the land God promised them, a land flowing with milk and honey. But getting there wasn't a straight line. Soon after leaving Egypt, they ran into problems. They were hungry, thirsty, tired, and afraid. They began to complain. "Why did you bring us here to die?" they asked Moses. "At least in Egypt we had food." But God provided. He sent bread from heaven called manna. He sent quail when they wanted meat. And when they were dying of thirst, He made water pour out of a rock. God was teaching them something important. "Trust me, I will take care of you." After months of traveling, they reached the edge of the Promised Land. Moses sent 12 spies to check it out. They came back saying, "It's beautiful. The land is rich and fertile." But 10 of them added, "The people there are huge, strong. We can't defeat them." Only 2, Joshua and Caleb, said, "God will help us. We can take the land." But the people didn't listen. They were too afraid. And that was their big mistake. They forgot how God had already saved them. They doubted. They turned away. Because of their fear and disobedience, God made a decision. None of the adults who doubted, except Joshua and Caleb, would enter the Promised Land. Instead, they would wander in the desert for 40 years until a new generation rose up, one that would trust Him. Those years weren't wasted. God used that time to teach them. Through victories, failures, and constant reminders of His presence. He gave them laws to live by. He taught them how to be a nation, not just a group of ex-slaves. They learned patience, discipline, faith, and when the 40 years passed, the children of those who once doubted were ready. Moses, their faithful leader, climbed a mountain and saw the Promised Land from a distance. But he would not enter it. His mission was complete. Now Joshua stepped up. He would lead the people into the land God had promised, the land they had been dreaming of for generations. The journey to the Promised Land isn't just about ancient history. It's about faith through uncertainty. It's about trusting God when things don't go as planned. It's about learning, growing, and not giving up, even when the road is long. Because the wilderness is not the end. It's where you become the person ready to receive the promise. Thanks for listening. If the story moved you, share it with someone who needs hope for their own journey. And remember, every desert has a destination. Like and subscribe for more Bible stories.